I think I was only about 17, 18, somewhere along in there. Bill France talked me into putting my car on the beach race, and that's the way I got started. And if you look at the things, I could shift gears. I could just hit the clutch and slam it into another gear. And I was 2 or 3 laps ahead of the bunch on the first lap. In fact, 3 laps before the rest of them got caught up with me. It was a regular car, convertible, but instead of being a convertible, they had windows in it. They called it a Phaeton. They only made 1,000 that year. Well, leading up to it, I let him drive my car down, and he says, Mac says, this car's fast. This is faster than my car. Says, you ought to put it in the race. Well, it's just my personal car. I never raced anything except those skeeters on the beach with Marshall Teague and Fireball Roberts. And so that was just skeeter racing. It wasn't any racing. We just see who could go around the barrels the fastest. Sometimes we even backed around the barrels. And that was really tedious, trying to go backwards and race. We had more speed going down on the highway because we had better traction. And it seemed like going back north, we always had a headwind. I don't know why, but it was always in a headwind going back, and we never could quite get that 100 mark going back. But going down, it was 105, 110 going down on the beach. I turned over on the side, and before the engine ever stopped, people ran down and pushed the car back over. And as soon as the wheels were still going, but as soon as the wheels hit the ground, it choked the engine down, and I had to sit there and crank and crank and crank to get started again. I didn't do that on purpose. This man, he was driving a 34 Ford, and he got in a north turn, and he turned it sideways and got stuck in that soft sand. There's no place for me to go because he was crossways in the track. And all these people, if you look at that picture up on 2 sides, all these people, some of them fell down. Well, evidently, there were posts there that other racers had knocked down in 32, and I ran over those posts, and I thought it was people I was running over. And I looked back just like that, and then that car was up on 2 wheels, and I straightened it up, and I didn't crash. But I know a lot of them that did get up on 2 wheels, and sometimes when they start rolling, they kept on rolling 5 and 6 times. Russ Truelove rolled, they say 7 times, but he says he only counted 5 times. But you can hear it every time you roll, blam, and then it blam when the top would hit. You didn't hear it when the wheels hit, but you counted those tops, how many times it hit. In those races, no, when I was racing, nobody ever got killed or hurt. And like I say, some of them were convertibles, and a lot of people took and cut the tops off. They thought that I had advantage over them running a convertible. There was lots of people. I got pictures of them all lined up and down the runway, but everybody was mostly from up north, and they were scared of those rattlesnakes. And to keep them paying to get in, he would advertise, and he put signs up, "Watch out for snakes." My white goat, we called it the White Ghost. T.G. Lee financed me because when my folks died, I was underage. I had to have T.G. Lee sign when you got a title to your car. And so he signed my first car for me. Well, like I say, it was fun in those days. It was fun competing. Good buddy, good buddies. Like I say, the only trouble I had was that German that was going to get me because his yellow car and my yellow car were getting a lot of publicity. I never won any race on the beach, but third place was only $350, and that's what Bill France gave me for putting a show on. You saw some of the capers I did up on two wheels. And then if you read Dunkin' Donuts, it tells about me picking a News Journal reporter up. And when I went into the turn, it threw him down, and he said he was on the floorboard looking up at me. Naturally, I was interested in racing, so I went up there to his station one time and got to talking about him. And he says, "You want to buy a race car?" And I said, "Yes." So he took me down to Wilbur by the Sea. Opened up the garage. It all boarded up. Wasn't anybody in the house at all. And went around back, and there was Sir Malcolm Campbell's car that he ran the beach with. A yellow bobtail, just like the Auburn, and it had a 50-gallon gas tank in the back.